Welcome to the 2020 Virtual Candidate Forum. Our desire is to create informed voters by giving the Plant City community an opportunity to meet every candidate on their ballot.
At the Greater Plant City Chamber of Commerce, we are a connector and convener in the community of current and rising leaders. When we all work together, we are Plant City Strong.
This event would not be possible without community involvement. We would like to thank Tampa Electric, Fried Egg Productions, South Florida Baptist Hospital, the Hillsborough County Farm Bureau, and the many other generous supporters.
Without further ado, let's hear from this candidate.
Hello, my name is Chuck Gore, and I'm with Stahl & Associates Commercial Insurance, and I'm a member of the Greater Plant City Chamber of Commerce. And I have the pleasure of serving on the Government Affairs Committee and on the Board of Directors. Our committee has prepared a few questions for every candidate on the ballot for positions that represent the residents of Plant City. Today, I'm here with Alan Cohn, who is running for U.S. House District 15. Welcome, Alan. Will you please just give us a quick introduction of yourself and tell about yourself to help our viewers understand who you are and get to know you.
Well, my name is Alan Cohn. I am the Democrat running for Congress in Florida's 15th Congressional District. My background is for over 30 years, I have been an investigative journalist. Many people in Plant City may remember I'm the guy who broke the story about Jim Norman, the county commissioner, and getting $500,000 from a businessman to buy a vacation home in Arkansas. And that kind of underscores how I have contributed to this community, the state, and this country for over 30 years. I won the Peabody Award, the highest award you can win in journalism, because I uncovered that a defense contractor was allowing defective parts again into Black Hawk helicopters flown by our troops. It was a 4-year investigation, which when I was awarded the prize, it was for safeguarding the lives of U.S. military personnel. I want to take that skill set, the investigative, the advocacy, and the ability to deliver a message to Congress, because Lord knows we look at what's going on up there right now, and we could use more than one investigative reporter. But in addition to that, my wife Patty and I have brought up 2 wonderful children in this community. And for the last decade, you could find me on Plant City baseball fields from one end of the community to the other, from Hillsborough County to Polk County to even Southern Lake County, because my son plays college baseball. And, we've been part of the fabric of this community for many years. And we know firsthand that many small business owners, many middle-class families and working families are struggling to make it in an economy that does not work for us. So as a small business owner myself and a middle class member of this community, I want to work to make life a little bit easier for all of us, whether you're in business or you're just trying to pay your bills every month.
Very good. So tell us, why is it specifically that you're running for this office? Well,
number one, I was asked to run given the fact that Ross Spano, the incumbent, is in a deep legal trouble for admitting to taking almost $200,000 of illegal campaign loans. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I think we could all agree he's a cheater. And he's so embroiled in this controversy, in this scandal, he has very little time to work for us. As I mentioned before, I was asked to run because of my background in terms of exposing public corruption here in Hillsborough County and elsewhere. And, that's the politics of it. But the fact of the matter is, somebody who has run a small business myself, and as someone who has reported on and investigated the economy and the challenges, I want to do something to whether it's helping small businesses or families make it better. For the last 4 years, I was the anchor managing editor of ABC 7. And that broadcast was available on, if you have charter television or cable in Plant City and around the county. And I spent a great deal of time bringing both sides together, whether it's Republicans or Democrats or independents, talking about what's happening on Main Street and the impediments and the obstacles to small business owners and families in terms of making it in this economy. And I think in the end, I earned the respect of people on both sides of the aisle. I always had a lively debate, and I also learned a lot. And I want to apply what I've learned and the values that we share in this community and take it to Capitol Hill.
Very good, thank you. During your time in office, what do you plan to do for the Plant City community?
Number one, and again, I love Plant City. I love the spirit and the enthusiasm that I see every moment and you know, every weekend when I've been on the ball fields. I want to create a climate where small businesses in Plant City can prosper in an economy that we're going to have to rebuild after COVID-19. You know, too often, if you look at the business economy, it's the large corporations that get all the breaks. They put a lot of their accounts offshore and pay really very little in terms of taxes, while any business owner in terms of Plant City knows that they're not getting any kind of tax break. If anything, they're overburdened and are looking and then becoming frankly cynical that politics and politicians will have their back in Washington. I want to change that dynamic. The other thing is that I want to help increase infrastructure in Plant City, which is so crucial because of the I-4 corridor, and it is the bane of our existence in terms of getting from here to there. If you live in Plant City and live and work in Tampa or work in Orlando, the fact is that our infrastructure is in badly need of repair, not only on the roads and the highways and I-4, but also in the cyberspace and bringing 5G to our community. Because when we're talking about that kind of infrastructure, that is the secret potion in terms of making businesses in Plant City and throughout Hillsborough County prosper, to make the businesses and commerce faster and simpler to use. And we're going to have to do that if we're going to rebuild our economy and have it prepared for the post-COVID world.
Very good. Due to the decrease in tourism and spending this year, how will you address the budget shortages? And where will you cut and where will you prioritize?
You know, that's also a great question. And, you know, one of the things that I've been talking about so often in the heights of the pandemic is there are so many members of our community, so many of our friends and neighbors who have been left unemployed or underemployed. And we have to make sure that they are economically able to survive until we are past this and are able to get back into the workforce. The other thing is, and this is an incredible problem that we've had since Congress passed the CARES Act, is that there has been an imbalance in terms of small businesses getting their rightful share of the assistance that's out there. I did an interview recently with a small businessman in our area who owns a small construction company, and he applied for the benefits under the CARES Act on day one, and the computer crashed. He reapplied day two, never received an answer, and tried to talk to folks in Congress about this, only to receive the eventual answer that the Small Business Administration changed the rules against what Congress had intended in terms of aid to small businesses. And a lot of, we've read about this in the newspaper for weeks now, a lot of this help went for larger corporations, in the tens of millions of dollars, while there are business owners in Plant City and throughout Hillsborough and Polk County and Lake County that have not received a dime. We cannot leave it to the Small Business Administration or the administration in general to make these decisions unilaterally, especially when Congress intended the opposite. So number one, we have to go back to the Congress and we have to legislate this in a way that the small SBA and the administration cannot fool around with the aid that many small businesses in Plant City and elsewhere need.
All right, very good. If elected, what would your first term priority be?
Well, number one, to get a rebalance in terms of taxation in this country. You know, the tax cuts that were passed by this administration and this Congress really were unbalanced in favor of the large corporations and the wealthiest Americans, and not to small business owners and middle-class Americans like many of us. And many business owners or middle-class families would be hard-pressed today, if they're watching this right now, to talk about how they were, the difference that those tax cuts made on their lives. Meanwhile, you know, in terms of the large corporations, and this is also incredible, some of the largest corporations in the country, after that tax cut package was passed, you know, talked about giving out $1,000 bonuses to their employees, only to later lay off those very same employees. And local businesses owners really have, even before the pandemic, have been struggling to remain afloat in an economy that favors the larger corporations. We have got to rebalance this, you know, with the realization that the American economy, from here to the West Coast of the United States, the bedrock is small business and middle income families. And if middle income families and small businesses continue to struggle in the way that they are right now, that is going to just fuel the polarization of our politics and our economy in ways that are not sustainable.
Right, very good. Well, that's all of the questions that I've got for you. So just kind of in conclusion, is there anything else that you would like our viewers to know before we go?
Well, I appreciate that. And number one, in me, you get an advocate, a fierce advocate who, frankly, has gone up over 30 years against organized crime and large corporations and the most powerful people in our public lives. And I've been unafraid and unbended. And I want to use those skills and bring them to Congress on your behalf. And I want to be that advocate, just like I have been in terms of investigative journalism. And the fact is, not all candidates in this race are alike. As I mentioned before, you know, Patty and I have two children that have been part of the fabric of this community. You know, we've held our breath every time we've received a robocall from the school saying that there was a lockdown. We are concerned about not only our lives and our abilities to save for the future and keep our company going. We're concerned about the future, and we want to be you know, a part of it and advocate for the people of this community. You know, a friend of mine is a pastor, and the greatest advice he ever gave me is, if you talk about your values and people get a sense of who you are, who your family is, and what you want to do when you get to Congress, then that's what people want. And that's what's been absent from our lives for so long. It's, you know, when was the last time that we had a candidate or a member of Congress from these parts that you really got a sense of why they're running and that they have your back? People give some of these issues lip service. I want to, you know, make sure that that I bring home to the people of this community, you know, their rightful share of either a tax relief or the just rules and laws that make small business and members of this community prosper.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you being here with us today, and good luck at the polls.